channel. My name is Martine, and if you are new here, I do videos on Vedic astrology mainly, but also with some tropical insights, and I focus on both relationship and natal astrology. And if you like this video and you would like to see more content from me, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel. Also consider clicking the notifications bell if you want to see when I will post a new video. Also, if you are interested in a private reading, I do readings in astrology on a variety of topics ranging from relationship readings to career to transits for 2-3 years, or solar return charts or predictions for 1 year, etc. You are free to email me at the email address that I will leave in the video description, and I can send you a pricing list and reading options and any other details that you might require. Also, I want to mention that I have started membership options on this channel, and the short of it, just to give you the short perks that you will get if you choose to join the membership section, you will get 1 extra video per month for each membership stage or tier. So for the first tier, you will get 1 extra video per month. For the second tier, you will get 2 extra videos per month, so you will have access to level 1 and level 2 videos. And for level 3 or third tier, you will get 3 extra videos per month. The level 1 and level 3 videos are going to be on a variety of topics, so basically anything related to astrology, but it will be content that is not shown on my regular usual videos, right? So this is members only exclusive content, and it can range from, tips and tricks on how to read a horoscope to, I haven't done this yet, but I plan on doing maybe members only astrological synastry for famous couples, for instance, or the analysis of famous people's horoscopes, but then I can also get into divisional charts, etc., etc. So all kinds of things. The level 1 or second tier of membership options is especially related to synastry astrology topics, meaning relationship-oriented astrology. So this could be things like how to discover which kind of partner archetype is right for you according to your horoscope, or it could be, again, different characteristics, whether you're going to have a good marriage according to your horoscope or a less than stellar marriage. But you can find more concrete examples in the lists that you will find in the video description, because I have added the playlists where you can already see all the videos that I have posted in each members section. So yeah, you can see what videos you will have access to from the ones that I have already done. But I will continue to post, like I said, 1 extra video per month for each level of membership. And in addition to that, in the members only section, you will have access to members only polls, and you will also have priority when it comes to getting your comments replied to on my channel. And you will also have stickers that basically show up next to your username that show that you are a member, and a couple of exclusive emojis. All right, so that's pretty much all the perks that you can have as a member on my channel. If you're curious, you can check the video description for more details as well, or you can click the join button under any of my videos to also see the prices, because the prices will be shown in your local currency. All right, in addition to the members only section, I also have a tarot channel, and I post there semi-regularly, and I will be linking the tarot channel in the video description as well as in the pinned comment. It's called Martine's Tarot. So if you are curious about tarot, if you're into it, maybe check out my channel, maybe subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening to this intro. And now I'm going to get straight into today's topic. So today's topic is going to be on Mars in the 5th house for the first 6 ascendants. That means Aries through Virgo. And I'm just going to get straight into it. So if Mars is in the sign of Leo and you have ascendant in Aries, that means you have ascendant in Aries and you have Mars in the 5th house. And this would tend to mean that you love to use your body to express yourself creatively, naturally experience. You can also naturally make a very good artist, especially an actor or a dancer, or anything to do with dramatic arts or anything that has to do with using your body creatively. It tends to show a good career growth, especially if you pursue an artistic field as well. Your life in general can be quite fortunate because of the strength of these placements. Good efforts will be placed in education, most likely on your part. Of course, bear in mind that everything is to be taken in context, you know, with respect to the full horoscope, but just based on these configurations, you tend to be good in education and you tend to focus on getting a pretty good education. And you might also have interest in teaching, arts, or speculative investments like getting into, you know, the stock market, exchange and stuff. There could be conflicts with your in-laws. However, the spouse could also have some kind of intense energy, especially with respect to their facial expressions. They could also tend to have small and or hooded eyes. Also, they could tend towards something like darker features, but again, a lot has to be seen from individual horoscope placements because this is a very general placement to see the spouse's appearance. The spouse might also have a tendency to have scars on their face, and they might also be prone to accidents, especially concerning their face area. You might also live somewhere close to your in-laws or maybe even with your in-laws after marriage. Your friend circle can be compared, actually not compared, could be mainly including, right, can be mainly comprised, of men, especially young men or men without families. If you are a woman or a gay man, you could be friends with a partner before you become romantic partners and vice versa. So you could have romantic partners who turn into friends, meaning you stay friends with your partners after marriage. Another thing that I can say is that with this placement, friendships can run deep, can even be completely transformative towards your entire life. Moving abroad also could change the course of your life. So you could become an entirely different person, and it could also help you decrease your anger issues if you have any. On the other hand, aside from moving abroad, what could also help with this placement is practicing spirituality, things like meditation, yoga, Reiki, and learning about things like, you know, sleeping patterns and what happens when you sleep and stuff like that. Also making sure that you have a good sleeping pattern. You could also have life-changing love affairs as well. You might be interested in all things to do with spirituality and religions and also foreign lands. You could also be successful in import-export businesses. You would also have good success studying anything related to research or transformation, especially involving the body or the head. Meaning anything connected to the head, you know, like an ear doctor, a nose doctor, a dentist, etc. A neuroscientist, you know, anything connected to the head. Some famous people that have this placement include Stevie Nicks, Melanie Griffith, and Amelia Earhart. Moving on to Mars in the 5th house in Virgo for ascendant in Taurus. So in this situation, this is a pretty strong placement for love marriage, which means that basically this is the ideal romantic Western culture scenario, meaning you meet someone, you fall in love, and you develop into a relationship, and then the relationship progresses into marriage. The not so good news is that if you come from a culture where arranged marriage is practiced, this placement might cause you to get a divorce, basically, if you go for an arranged marriage, that is. Aside from that, you could see gains from the life partner and or after you get married. You might also want to check some of the other videos that I've done on this topic, like wealth after marriage, wealthy spouse, stuff like this. I'm going to try to link them in the video description if you want to check them out. You will also tend to be very protective of your spouse's family and your own inner world as well. So you will tend to keep a lot of, you will keep to yourself a lot. You will keep your emotional world private. And also you tend to be very protective of your shared finances with your spouse, as well as the finances that you might be getting from the spouse's family. And you can also gain financially from socializing and or dealing with the public. There's a great combination in this placement for being an artist, especially if you have ascendant in Mrigashira Nakshatra, but not only. If your Mars is in Hasta Nakshatra, for instance, you could also be very good at creative pursuits involving the hands, like pottery or playing an instrument, for instance, or even doing magic tricks. You could also incur losses on account of your education, up to master's degree most likely, and or you could also have a lot of expenses due to your children. Well, which is true for most people, but for you it's going to be higher than average. But of course, a lot has to be taken into account with respect to the full picture of the horoscope. It's not a good placement with respect to speculative investments, so I wouldn't recommend that. Getting into things like gambling or, well, gambling is probably not a good idea for anyone, but even things like, the stock exchange and stuff like that, stock investments are probably not the best way for you to increase your money. You might also have issues, unfortunately, conceiving, or there might be some delay with respect to conceiving, or it will tend to be really difficult to raise kids. Your kids could be very temperamental, or there could be also potential health issues, but again, a lot has to be seen, again, with respect to the full horoscope, because these are pretty general placements. Some famous people that have this placement include Pamela Anderson, Dua Lipa, Priyanka Chopra, Cliff Richard, Virginia Madsen, and Caleb Followill. Moving on to Mars in the 5th house in Libra for Gemini ascendant. In this combination, you definitely see the potential for gaining a lot of wealth. You could be influential due to your ideas. You could become even famous due to your ideas, or maybe something that you write even. So you could also try your hand at publishing, creative writing. Your ability to connect to the masses could also bring you great fame. So you might have like an instinct for knowing what people want to hear or what people want to see. This could also be good in marketing. It's also just a great combination overall for making money from speculative gains, for instance, investing in stocks, right? Maybe also things like gambling, but I wouldn't recommend that because that's really risky. Your children could also bring you good wealth, or after childbirth, you could see an increase in your overall wealth. You might have friends that turn to lovers or lovers that turn to friends. Your enemies will tend to dissolve easily, especially if you just don't engage them too much or basically just ignore them. You could also have issues connected to digestion, especially things like high stomach acidity. So eating a lot of meat might be potentially detrimental to your health, so that's something that you might want to take into account. Also, overall, this position is really great for competitions in especially educational fields. So you can be lucky, for instance, when you are trying to pass an admission exam to a university, luckier than average. I mean, I'm not trying to say that you don't have to study, but let's say the fortune is on your side for the most part. And you will also tend to be just very lucky overall when it comes to communication and expressing yourself through any means, whether it's spoken or written. And like I said, you could also be great at marketing. Another thing that you could be great at is actually import-export businesses, anything connected to health. Also, anything connected to dealing with foreign lands and large masses. And some famous people that have this placement include Mel Gibson, Shailene Woodley, Matt LeBlanc, Teal Swan, Douglas Adams, and Maurizio Gucci, right? Moving on to the next placement, which is Mars in Scorpio for Cancer Ascendant. So this situation, you have the ruler of the 5th house in the 5th house. This is very good for education, especially if you put your effort into it. You would do good in anything connected to research. You tend to have a strong intellect, will generally love working with children, for instance. Children can also be just beneficial for you with respect to career choices, so anything connected to children, but especially working in education would be beneficial. You could have a career in an artistic field, investments, education, working with any form of, academic fields, or working in any academic fields. Your career or education could help you transform some area connected to the subconscious, or sleep, or sexuality, or spirituality, anything connected to meditation, yoga, or alternative healing methods. You might also succeed in import-export businesses, or working a lot with foreign lands. So any kind of dealings that have to do with foreign lands, foreign cultures. Especially things that have to do with like really far away places. Also working with people or places of isolation. So hospitals, prisons, stuff like that, pretty much. Asylums, or even things like ashrams, spiritual retreats, etc. Some famous people that have this placement include King Charles III, Jack Nicholson, Matthew Perry, George Carlin, Luciano Pavarotti, Christopher Reeve, and Carmen Miranda. Moving on to Mars in Sagittarius in the 5th house for Leo Ascendant. In this situation, you can see great gains coming from real estate investments, activities connected to higher learning like spirituality, philosophy, publishing, or anything to do with higher education. That means master's degree, actually most likely above master's degree, or any kind of specialized courses. You will have great intellectual abilities overall and can succeed in academia, but you could also succeed greatly in artistic fields, especially the dramatic arts. Your father figure and or your gurus, your teachers, could be very beneficial to you. You should follow basically their advice whenever they give it. Your children can also bring you a lot of happiness, and your wealth could also increase after the birth of your child. Aside from that, there could also be a pretty strong luck factor connected to the homeland or the mother side of the family. So you will actually, based on this placement, tend to have pretty decent connections or decent amount of support from both your parents. But of course, this is a general placement, so a lot would have to be seen from more personal, consultations, like from analyzing the entire horoscope. But aside from that, there could be a lot of luck, like I said, coming from your homeland. So you could have like a lot of opportunities and happiness coming from your homeland. Also, your kids could bring you a lot of happiness. I'm not sure if that, I think I mentioned that, yeah. So it's not just that your kids could bring you wealth, but they can also just increase your overall happiness. Aside from that, you could also do well in any field where you have to study history, for instance, and also any field where you are somehow charged with bridging cultural differences. So, I mean, I was going to say like a diplomat, but that's a little bit too pompous, and not everyone could be a diplomat. But you could also be something like, I don't know, working in the hotel business, or at a travel agency, or like a travel guide, especially introducing your country to other people. Or it could be the other way around, helping people from your country discover another country and stuff like that. But somehow, bridging the gap between your culture and other foreign cultures. Some famous people that have this placement include Timothée Chalamet, Janelle Monáe, James Spader, Rod Stewart, and Barbara Stanwyck. Moving on to Mars in Capricorn for Virgo ascendant. So in this situation, you could definitely work successfully in anything to do with art restoration or anything to do with transformation, but especially connected to an artistic field or somehow connected to transforming thought patterns, ideas, the way people communicate, for instance. Also things to do with short distance travel, maybe even vehicles to some extent. Also anything to do with psychology. And you could also work in transforming, for instance, educational fields or anything to do with investments as well. Your spouse's family could help you with your education maybe, and even help you with child raising. They're also going to be, you will also tend to see good relations with in-laws, but again, a lot has to be seen from individual horoscopes because this is a pretty general configuration, so it is possible that it can be overpowered by other configurations that will tend to, paint a different picture. You also are generally a very brave individual, and you tend to passionately follow your heart's desire. You can also succeed at doing what you love for a living because of this. You tend to have above average abilities in communication, maybe even singing or playing an instrument, and any other artistic field in general. Your courage and confidence could increase after having a child. So your child could actually help you somehow, step out of your comfort zone and also maybe encourage you somehow. And, or at the very least, it's just that after the birth of your child, you're going to see an increase in confidence. You could easily get into debt on account of your in-laws though. And you can also get into debt on account of education or your children or younger siblings. Some famous people that have this placement include Gerard Butler, John Bon Jovi, Tony Robbins, and Nina. So this has been pretty much what I wanted to say, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. And if you have, don't forget to like, subscribe, click on the notifications bell to see when I post another video. Also comment in the comment section with any feedback you would like to give or ideas for future topics that you would like me to cover. And if you want to find out more about the membership options and or private readings, you can check out the introduction section of this video. I'm going to leave timestamps in the video description as well as in the pinned comment so you can get all the details you need from that part. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you at my next video.